Welcome to our U.S. briefing program. Today, we're diving into the respectful traditions of Jewish funerals, where dignity, quick procedures, and community mourning create a heartfelt farewell for loved ones. We'll also explore the recent controversy at the Pentagon, where journalists are protesting new restrictions that threaten press freedom and transparency. And finally, we'll look at China's strategic use of domestic law beyond its borders, a move seen as a challenge to the traditional international legal system. Please continue to watch for more details. Deutsche Welle vividly depicts the solemn and humble rituals of a Jewish funeral, emphasizing the importance of dignity, simplicity, and community support. The process begins with a swift burial, where the body undergoes a ritual purification called tahara, and is placed in a simple wooden casket or shroud, with no embalming or adornments, reflecting a focus on the soul's journey rather than material possessions. Mourning practices are deeply rooted in humility. Families tear a piece of clothing in a ritual called kriya as an expression of grief and submission to God's will, and the body is buried with a symbolic handful of soil. Following the burial, mourners observe Shiva, a 7-day period marked by refraining from work, grooming, and entertainment, while friends and relatives visit to offer comfort and share memories, reinforcing the communal nature of mourning. The recitation of the mourner's Kaddish, a prayer emphasizing faith and remembrance, becomes a central act of ongoing mourning, with specific customs for visiting graves, such as leaving pebbles to symbolize enduring memory, underscoring the focus on remembrance over the afterlife. CNN provides a stark account of the Pentagon's unprecedented crackdown on press access, illustrating a dramatic shift in military transparency and freedom of the press. As defense officials impose new policies that criminalize routine reporting, journalists find themselves forced to surrender their credentials, turning in their press passes amid protests that journalism is not a crime. The removal of a pro-press poster and the refusal of major outlets like Fox News and Newsmax to accept the new restrictions highlight the erosion of traditional media access, with critics warning that the move undermines the core principles of a free press enshrined in the First Amendment. Military reporters, once able to question officials and gather information openly, now face a landscape of limited communication, with some expressing regret and concern that these restrictions will widen the gap between the military and the public it serves. The policy reflects a broader pattern of reduced inquiry and transparency, raising alarms about accountability in a government that manages vast sums of public money and makes critical decisions affecting national security. South China Morning Post explores China's strategic shift towards asserting its legal authority globally, driven by escalating tensions with the United States. In response to American sanctions and legal actions against Chinese tech giants like Huawei and ZTE, Beijing has increasingly applied its domestic laws beyond its borders, framing this as a move towards a foreign-related rule of law. This approach is exemplified by recent legislation such as the Law on Foreign Relations and the Anti-Foreign Sanctions Law, which aim to safeguard national interests through legal measures, including export controls on sensitive materials like rare earth metals. Experts warn that this trend signifies a fundamental shift in the international legal landscape, with domestic law gaining prominence over international law, thereby challenging traditional global governance structures. While China justifies its actions as necessary for sovereignty and security, critics argue that the country must craft a persuasive narrative to legitimize its expanding legal reach, avoiding perceptions of using law as a mere tool for national advantage. As Western powers face similar pressures, the global legal order appears to be fragmenting, with the US and China increasingly asserting their legal frameworks on the world stage, potentially destabilizing international cooperation. Associated Press reports that Cambodia, while expressing hope that the United States and the United Kingdom possess sufficient evidence, has refrained from directly accusing Prince Holding Group or its chairman Chen Ji of wrongdoing amidst international sanctions. The Cambodian government emphasizes that Prince Holding Group has met all legal requirements to operate within the country and that Chen Ji's citizenship was granted lawfully. Meanwhile, the US and UK sanctions accuse Chen of orchestrating a transnational criminal network involved in large-scale online scams, fraud, and exploitation, with US authorities seizing over $14 billion in Bitcoin and charging him with wire fraud and money laundering. The sanctions also target Chen's assets in the UK, including luxury properties, as part of a broader crackdown on cybercrime and money laundering networks across Southeast Asia, highlighting the complex web of online scams, trafficked labor, and illicit financial operations that allegedly operate from Cambodia, with some experts suggesting that the country serves as both a hub for scams and a regional money laundering center. Yahoo US discusses the political landscape in Maine, where 77-year-old Janet Mills has launched her campaign for the US Senate, igniting debates about age and generational change within the Democratic Party. Mills, potentially the oldest freshman senator in history at age 79, enters a race against younger candidates and faces scrutiny over her age amid broader concerns about the party's need to rejuvenate its leadership. The story underscores the tension between the Democratic push for new, energetic leaders and the strategic necessity of experienced candidates who can secure victories in key battleground states like Maine, North Carolina, and Ohio. While Mills emphasizes her commitment to a single term and her motivation to oppose Trump and the GOP, her age remains a focal point for opponents and voters alike, with some arguing that electability and experience might outweigh concerns about age in a state with an aging population that tends to vote at higher rates. Spiegel offers a vivid glimpse into the future of work through the lens of artificial intelligence, exemplified by the stark emptiness of a massive Amazon warehouse in Louisiana. The scene, with its silent corridors and unstaffed halls, symbolizes the profound changes AI and automation are bringing to employment landscapes across the United States. The juxtaposition of the bustling human workforce of the past with the current deserted state of the warehouse highlights how technological advancements are replacing traditional jobs, raising questions about the future of employment, economic stability, and the social fabric. As AI continues to evolve and integrate into industries, it promises increased efficiency but also sparks concerns about job displacement and the need for society to adapt to a radically transformed labor market. In the United States, Representative Seth Moulton of Salem has announced his bid to challenge the long-serving Senator Ed Markey in next year's Massachusetts Democratic primary, igniting a debate about generational change within the party. Moulton, 46, emphasizes the need for fresh leadership to address the future of the Democratic Party, criticizing Markey's advanced age, who will be 80 during the campaign, and questioning whether older politicians can effectively represent the evolving needs of voters. Markey, a veteran with over 36 years in Congress and a key figure behind the Green New Deal, faces scrutiny over his age as the party grapples with questions about political longevity and the importance of new voices. The campaign has already begun with sharp exchanges, as Markey's team defends his record of fighting against extremism, while Moulton advocates for policies like universal healthcare and climate action, framing the race as a pivotal moment for Democratic renewal. The contest is further complicated by potential challengers, including Representative Ayanna Pressley, and the recent history of generational contests within the party, highlighting a broader debate over leadership, experience, and trust in the future of American politics. Meanwhile, in China's Tibet Autonomous Region, controversy erupted after a fireworks display at the foot of the Himalayas, orchestrated by outdoor apparel brand Arc'teryx in collaboration with artist Kai Guocheng, sparked a governmental investigation and disciplinary actions. The spectacle, dubbed the Rising Dragon, was meant as a celebration but instead drew criticism for damaging the fragile ecosystem of the Tibetan Plateau, impacting over 30 hectares of grassland and disturbing local wildlife with its intense light and sound. Official reports revealed that the fireworks, which used supposedly eco-friendly materials, violated China's new environmental protection laws, leading to the dismissal of 6 officials and disciplinary reviews of others. The sponsors, Arc'teryx and Kai's studio, face penalties and ecological restoration costs, with Kai issuing an apology and pledging efforts to repair the damage. The incident underscores the delicate balance between art, commerce, and environmental preservation in ecologically sensitive regions, sparking a broader conversation about responsible tourism, corporate accountability, and the importance of adhering to strict ecological standards in high-altitude conservation areas. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spin, walls come down, voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd, broadcasters paint the scene, world events pulse on our screen. Every link a different theme. Words collide in the stream. 6 degrees connect the dots. Background stories more than us. Hear the voices rise aloft. Truth unveils in every spot. Cultures clash across the globe. Spin the threads in a strobe. Every story wears a robe. Truth and lies in their code. Journalists dig real deep. Secrets out, they don't sleep. Every angle they will keep. In the news we take a leap. New perspectives day by day.